Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at Arks of Omen Vashtorr. This video is sponsored by CMO Games and the VoxLink app. More on those later. Arks of Omen Vashtorr catches the Dark Angels between the rock and a hard place. While Angron busies himself with transforming an entire Indomitus Crusade fleet into slavering monsters, the grand architect of the Arks of Omen saga edges closer to completing his inscrutable goal. A key piece of the puzzle is deep within the rock, the mobile space fortress of the Dark Angels chapter and all that remains of the homeworld Caliban. And the time for subtle manipulation has ended. The Archivane unleashes his full might in the Arks of Omen Vashtorr, the third book in the latest narrative expansion series for Warhammer 40,000. Long preferred shadowy machinations in the background, Vashtorr now takes direct action and the Dark Angels are in for a shock. Making a deal with an abominable intelligence to predict the movements of the rock, the Soul Forge King launches an all-out assault with forces gathering from the Black Legion, Iron Warriors, and his own cabal of indentured demons. The largest and most terrifying Arks of Omen yet spearheads the attack, only to be bitterly resisted by the fleshy ascended Grandmaster Azrael. With 30 pages of story and spectacular model showcase, Arks of Omen Vashtorr also introduces a narrative campaign for boarding actions entitled The Rock Besieged. This series of interlocking missions follows the story of Vashtorr's attack, and can be played using the forces depicted in the book or used for your own campaigns starring any factions. Each mission in the series has a special campaign outcome rule that grants bonuses for later missions. For instance, find the signal data tasks the chaos player with hunting down the rock locations. The sooner they manage their task, the fewer command points the Imperium player will have in the later drastic defense mission. So sounds pretty cool. I do like the idea of narrative play. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOGames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOGames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOGames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOGames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40K, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOGames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. Scour the darkness. The forces of Vashtorr assault an Inquisition outpost in the hunt for locations of the rock. Find the signal data. War in the Warp. The Loyalist armada defending the rock comes under attack. Facing overwhelming odds, can they survive to fight another day? Take the Teleportarium and Gellerfield collapse. And then we have Fall of the Rock. As Vashtorr's demonic legions launch their assault against the Fortress Monastery, its desperate defenders mount a hasty defense. So we have drastic defense, rapid withdrawal, and desperate holdout. So pretty neat. I like the idea of being able to go through a campaign, play for fun with your buddies, kind of change it up if you're not using the exact forces from the story itself. And then based on who wins various missions along the way, it unlocks bonuses for your army or limits the bonuses for your opponent's army. So very neat, thematic, cool. Seems like a pretty sweet story too, so I'm looking forward to seeing where the arcs go exactly. 6 factions meanwhile gain enhancements and stratagems in the book, supplementing the boarding actions mustering rules for Chaos Demons, Necrons, Tyranids, Genestealer Cult, the Death Guard, and Adeptus Mechanicus. So that is pretty neat as well. If you haven't been picking these books up, the first one, Abaddon, came with some initial Arks of Omen rules in the back. The majority of the books is actually like stories and thematic background and cool stuff like that. And then the latter half of the book, about 1/3 of it, is the rules. And then when we saw the Angron book come out as well, if you didn't pick that one up, again, the majority of the book was story. And then there was a few rules at the end specific to some of the factions. And now here we see some of the other factions that didn't get a bonus in the Angron book, getting one now in the Vashtorr book. So pretty cool. They're basically just locking a bunch of faction specific rules behind each of these books. And then we know initially there's going to be at least 4 of them. So we know the next one is going to be Vashtorr. And then finally we have Xenos or Farsight for the 4th book. And then we don't know if they'll continue on after that or if that will be the launch of 10th edition. Obviously at this point in time it's just speculation. Tyranids can project psychic abilities through solid walls with shadow connection. while the Genestealer cults hustle insidious infiltrators into ship vents and crawl spaces to spring out and catch enemies in a deadly crossfire. So Tyranid enhancements, Shadow Connection, Psyker model only. Each time the bearer manifests a blessing psychic power, you can measure through walls and closed hatchways when determining if a unit is within range of this psychic power. So normally you would have to measure around walls, so you would basically have to measure the long way around a corner. Now you can basically measure through those walls, so it drastically improves the range of your psychic powers, which is pretty neat because it's probably something to do with, the hive mind and the connection and all that good stuff being greater than a spaceship wall. So then we see for 1 command point, this is a stratagem for Genestealer cults, Insidious Infiltrators. 1 command point. Use this stratagem during deployment. Select 1 Genestealer cult unit from your army. You can set up that unit in the vents instead of setting it up on the battlefield. If you do so, then in the reinforcement step of your movement phase, you can set up that unit anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. You can only use this stratagem once. So that is very good. Being able to infiltrate inboarding actions is very strong. You can start at a key choke point to hold back your enemy, or you could potentially start on an objective. There's lots of cool places you could be positioned. On top of all that, there are boarding action rules for the Killzone Upgrades Shadow Vault set, which add automated turrets and searchlights, while players taking the role of the attacker can deploy a breaching robot to carve through hatchways. So that is pretty cool. In the Shadow Vault set, it came out with that upgrade sprue, and there are some thematic rules for the Shadow Vault's kill team missions. Now you're going to be able to use the 2 key pieces from that upgrade sprue in boarding actions as well. So that is pretty neat. The heavy bolter turret is pretty awesome, and the breaching robot is pretty cool as well, with the ability to cut through hatchways. So here we see Arks of Omen Vashtorr in all its glory. Definitely loving the stories and the art. So I really like these books so far. They've had a lot of background. The release schedule has been pretty quick on these, and this is likely just around the corner as well. So if you're not after the kind of lore and the stories and the background, you're only picking these up for the rules, I think you may be disappointed with the price you pay and the amount of actual rules you get. Now, because this is a little more narrative and it's not competitive and it is boarding actions more than its actual 40K, I imagine these aren't nearly as popular. But to tell you the truth, if you're not after the lore and the stories and the pictures and stuff like that, I would not buy this book. I think you'll be a little bit disappointed. In my opinion, if you were thinking about buying these books and you're not really after like the lore and the stories and all that stuff, I would potentially look to just buy someone's digital code online for much cheaper than the physical book, or potentially just look for a place where you can download the rules for free. That's just my opinion. I personally like to have physical books and read them and collect them and everything. So it doesn't feel like a fast one got pulled on me, but I could see how somebody would buy these books, spend a bunch of money on them, and then be disappointed. Now a quick message from today's sponsor, VoxLink Tabletop Gaming App. VoxLink is the ultimate tabletop community gaming app designed to connect tabletop gaming players, help find and attend games, events, and tournaments nearby. VoxLink app will offer a free version as well as bonus features for premium users. VoxLink app is the best new way to stay connected to tabletop gaming communities you love. And who's behind this revolutionary new tabletop gaming app? The one and only Constantine, aka the Magnet Baron, a 30-year veteran of the hobby. And with your help, we can make this dream a reality. Check out the Kickstarter launch of the VoxLink tabletop gaming app that will change the way that we connect and play forever. VoxLink, help build the community and make tabletop gaming better for us all. Now, back to the video. Arks of Omen Vashtorr is coming to pre-orders later this month, so you can join next week as we delve further into the book of datasheet downloads for Vashtorr and Grandmaster Azrael. So very cool. Next week they're likely going to be previewing some of the rules for Vashtorr and Azrael. Definitely looking forward to that. So we did already see the box set previewed that's going to be coming likely alongside this as well, and that pits Vashtorr and his forces up against Azrael and some Dark Angels. And it looks like a cool box. Obviously, it has 2 awesome new miniatures in it as well. The brand new Vashtorr, who is a beast and super cool monster. And then also we have Azrael of the Dark Angels. Very cool and infamous Dark Angels Grandmaster as well. So I'm looking forward to this book, looking forward to the army box set as well, and where the lore kind of takes the story. So very cool. And then obviously we know we'll see Xenos on the heels, and likely that's when we'll get that Farsight model. And then probably something else cool in another box set to face off against Farsight and the Tau. So let me know what you're most excited about, guys. If you are interested in purchasing any of these items, make sure to check out CMO Games to save 15% on those pre-orders. And if you haven't already checked out the VoxLink app, the Kickstarter is live. Go have a look at that and see if you're interested in revolutionizing tabletop gaming forever. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I like Vashtorr. And I'm out of here.